Pale is back out here. I'm telling you that right now. You can pay.
Pale ain't dead. He just moved to the web.
So let's talk about artists that are in hip hop that moonlight. Now, we know what moonlight means, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, you dabble real quick. You get in and out. It might be a second job. That's usually the concept. So I saw there's a post that he shared in our topic suggestions that says 𝐀𝐿 is one of the most successful rappers out of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He went multi-platinum, didn't curse in his music, made millions
Not on
off.
the second album.
On the second, I got you. Made millions off ringtones, won a Grammy, retired before 30, and invested in tech. He got in and he got out. Now, the concept of the moonlight is sometimes as creatives, people tend to, shy away from people that do this because it's more about getting in and getting out and less about, putting out product or something that's more, more value to the society or something that's more artistry, artsy, if you want to call it. We can name plenty of artists that have gone through this before, but I think there is a correlation with that because sometimes as creatives, that when you really care about the art form, sometimes you want to see people get in and stay in and actually help advance your culture. On the other side to that, there are people that could say, yo, 𝐀𝐿 came in, did what did what he wanted to do. He was a successful creative, got some money, flipped it, generational wealth. He's good. So I think there's a dynamic there that can be talked about. How do you feel about that? Because sometimes I feel like people will look at it like, well, the Moonlighters really just kind of got in, got a little bit of something, and got up out of there. Like they used the culture for what it was and got up out of there. Do we care too much?
Look, man, if you're a rapper and you catch one, you got to be thinking, okay, it's 14:59 now. Mm-hmm. You better have some sort of retirement plan set up. Mm-hmm. You better think about what else you can do.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that, because if you're expecting to be at the level of when you catch say you just catch a hit.
Right.
That's not going to be your life.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Just it's a situation to where you better it's sort of like when you're in the NFL. If you're a running back in the NFL, you got till 30. And that's how a lot of you hip hop artists are. Now maybe football and rap aren't the same because, you can rap into your 50s and 60s as long as you haven't done anything too crazy to your brain with, just being out here, maybe too much drugs, too much alcohol, whatever. Everyone, like I've called hip hop high school before.
Right.
And I don't even think this analogy applies as much anymore just because of how quickly things move with technology. But it used to be like if you were a rapper and you caught a real successful wave, you had 4 years. And then after those 4 years, basically you're going to be talking about, man, remember that time senior year? And you're going to hope people will still want to engage with you based on the success you had in those 4 years.
Damn, homie.
So think about,
the man, homie.
You can say whatever you want. I think this is like the second time I brought out Ja Rule here in this show, but Ja Rule did enough in his 4-year period to where, like, if him and Ashanti say, hey, we coming to town, people gonna go.
People going, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That. Nelly did in 4 years. I think maybe he got 5 in there, 5 or 6. He maybe stay a little bit longer than he was supposed to, and, for the way the game is set up. He was able to create a situation to where, like, okay, he can work off that nostalgia, and he's tried other things, with the clothing and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But here's the question:
he's still out here though. He's still out here representing the culture. I think the difference is with 𝐀𝐿, he got in and literally got out. Like he's done. Like you haven't heard about him coming to nobody's town.
That's the part.
Or nothing. He got in, got his money, put his money in the tech, and moved on. Now, it could mean that maybe he was smart and knew once he dropped that second album that I don't think they really rocking with me. He might not have had the love for hip hop like that.
Boom. That's
what
I'm
saying. It might have just been one of them situations where he was trying to get to the money. He seen he got to the money and pivoted and got up out of there rather than just ended up being a washed up artist, so to speak. So I think he's removed from the culture as far as being a feature in the culture.
Right.
I think he still takes in the culture because it's a part of him, but it may be one of them situations where he recognized, I don't think they really rocking with me like that.
So you could say he's not even he's not moonlighting. He's not a hip hop artist in moonlight. He might be a tech investor who moonlights as a hip hop artist. Yeah,
because Nelly, the Nelly example that you used, about Nelly, he probably, we'll call it 4 to 6, where he really was popping, St. Lunatics all the way up until whatever. Nelly's still part of hip hop's culture. Nelly's still out here performing, still out here doing shows.
He's opening for Janet Jackson when she comes back.
Thank you. He's doing
Nelly was
he'll do a feature here and there.
Nelly was top 3 artists at one point in time.
That's what I'm saying. But he's still, even at this stage,
and he wasn't 3.
He's not just he's not a tech person. Like Nelly's still a part of hip hop. The Chameleonaire example is very good because that's somebody that literally got in and literally got out. To Terry's point,
I think part of that is because like he might have saw what it was, where he was at the top of the game, had his song was everywhere, won that Grammy, and saw how much money he made from multi-platinum sales,
right,
and ringtones,
right,
and then saw what it was when he got into the tech space. It was like, why would I spend my time on this?
Boom, that was my point.
Go ahead, B. Go ahead, B.
I think the difference between all the artists that you mentioned and him getting in and getting out is he doesn't need the money.
But
Nelly
he
and
doesn't
them,
rap to eat.
Yeah, Nelly and them go tour and all that because that's how they make their money.
Right.
And they need to keep feeding that fund.
That's true.
What I mean?
But you can insert a 50 Cent who got a lot of money off Vitamin Water, who just went on a
massive world
tour for his first album. You can talk about Jay-Z, who is hip hop's first billionaire.
True.
That is still doing it. He just dropped a song last week with 𝗑𝐁𝐿𝐴.
True.
A song.
Come on now.
I was about to say that song is a little.
Well, but he's still doing it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, he's still doing it.
He's still doing it.
Nas, he's still active. Chameleonaire could have recognized I'm not really an artist like that. He wrote that Texas Wave because him and Paul Wall and them was clowning. It was one point in time where they were together.
Yeah.
And before Chameleonaire hit the mainstream and Paul Wall too, they had already went their separate ways.
Yeah.
So they got a whole catalog of stuff that people probably ain't even familiar with.
What do y'all think about the concept of just, even if you take Chameleonaire out of it, right? And we look at the concept of just people that moonlight versus the people that stay embedded in the culture.
I think that
is there a different respect level there? Like, just take Chameleonaire. Chameleonaire was just an example, but is there a different respect level for that?
I think that's the name of the game today. You can't just come in and just be about
rapper.
the music. Yeah,
okay.
You got to. That's gonna be the vehicle that gets you in the game,
right?
And then you turn that into merch. Then you turn that into your show,
right?
And then you get on TV,
right?
You know what I mean? And you just find the ways to keep fueling the machine. So when you spoke about 50 in his tour, I think 50 has so many different branches tied to him right now with the television and all that stuff that he might use that money from the show to feed the machine.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's doing shows to keep the vehicle moving.
So is it fair to say that we all are aware that the concept of someone that is a quote unquote moonlighter in hip hop, they're going to be looked at different unless they just have a legendary, beyond legendary run and then something happens to them or some guy
No, I think I turn my nose up more so at the artists that moonlight in hip hop that aren't hip hop.
Okay.
So if you're upbringing,
okay.
If you weren't ever in the culture per se, or so to speak, and you just came in and everybody's like, oh, they hip now. And they came over and did it, and then they jump out.
Or you turn your back on it when like for instance, Post Malone.
Right.
When he came in the game, White Iverson was the record that, blew him up, and that was quote unquote hip hop record.
So he was definitely somebody that was moonlighting because he was dropping little corny songs
Good point,
online
Terry.
at first, and
Good
then
point.
he pivoted to hip hop.
Good point.
And he pretty much jumped right back out.
Yeah.
Now that's more so the moonlighting that I think is weird and fake. Because
you're Miley Cyrus's, if you
there
will.
we go.
You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
That type of artist. Somebody like Chameleonaire, who was, you know what I'm saying? He was Texas hip hop. He's one of the, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that you look at and like, nah, he was for real in Texas. And then he got mainstream.
Yeah.
Once he got mainstream, he was like, I think I'm kind of cool on this mainstream stuff.
Right.
And pivoted that way. It wasn't like he left and was like, well, let me jump on this other music wave. Because who's to say he can't invest in something else just because he's a hip hop artist? If you come in as a music artist, you decide to be like, well, I want to be a hip hop artist because I feel like I'm gonna get more traction over there, and then come over here and get the traction, and then denounce it and jump back over. Now that's a little different.
You know what? I'm coming to you, B. You made a very good point, and this actually illustrates exactly what we're talking about when you brought up Post Malone and then he co-signed with Miley Cyrus. That right there is way worse. That's way worse because they're literally dabbling in.
They're like cosplaying.
They're hopping genres to use whatever works at the moment. That's way worse in my opinion.
Being pop artists.
I was about to say, talk about Drake.
Yes.
They're being pop stars.
Bro, that's it. What you just said is it. That's the epitome of this conversation that we're talking about. Because they really don't care, but they're not really here for that.
And a lot of it is the consumer's fault too, because they allow it to happen. They go out and they purchase all this stuff
right
when they do that, and then you know what I'm saying, they might jump back over to whatever they were doing, and it might slow down.
Right,
and it gives them, you know what I'm saying, well, maybe I should try the hip hop thing again. Like if you got to tell yourself, maybe I should try the hip hop thing.
That tells me everything I need to know about you.
You ain't hip hop. You ain't part of the culture. Essentially, you're just doing it for sales and for stats and for That's totally different. That's a different type of moonlighting versus I think what Chamillionaire was.
Jump in, B.
But there's a whole lot of artists that have done exactly what you just. Can we put Justin Timberlake in that bag?
Yep, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like,
think Justin came over like that?
No, he came up hip hop and R&B.
Okay.
That's who catapulted him to stardom.
His first joint had the clips on it.
Yeah, so
produced by Pharrell. And
then that it's not working for a minute, or you want to try something different, and you start shunning hip hop or whatever. So
next thing you know, you the man in the woods.
Yeah,
that's fair. Jay Moore hate that album too. He bring that mug up all the time.
My thing is, even if so, like I wouldn't even be mad at Justin Timberlake if he kept it real.
Yeah, I'm trying something different over here just because it's more money over here.
Or not even necessarily that, because even when he was on the Mickey Mouse Club, you could tell he had a little bit of swag about himself.
Not as much as Ryan Gosling.
Nah, he didn't. He's from Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? He started out with NSYNC, of course, who their manager is the one that pretty much found together. New Edition. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean,
no. Let's clear that up.
He didn't find.
Wait. What you talking about?
No, his Lou Pearlman.
Oh, Lou Pearlman. Never mind.
Yeah, Lou Pearlman
right.
saw.
I'm thinking about the dude with the captain hat on. You right?
Yeah, that's Maurice Starr. Yeah, that was a different tree.
But like his first, if he kept on with that whole thing when he went solo,
yeah,
instead of backpedaling at the end with the Man in the Woods joint, and also if he hadn't have been on that, not back in Janet Jackson during that performance. There was a few other things that involved him with being fake, so to speak.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying.
And plus that
so
story
I don't necessarily
Britney just told about when he met Shane.
I don't think he's in the same pocket as
Post,
a Miley or a Post.
No.
There's hip hop artists that do it because they aren't hip hop, so to speak.
Yep.
They come in, they get one flash in the pan, and they want to pivot immediately. You know what I'm saying? So that's moonlighting in itself too, because you just here to get a bag and go on about your business.
Lone just made a point in the chat. He said there's a whole section of non-creatives that are fake creatives that try to just get to a bag.
So when you talk about artists that come in and pivot immediately, might ruffle some feathers.
Here we go.
All right, speak on it.
But can you say that about Nicki?
Nicki jumped on that EDM wave real heavy.
Yeah, I mean instantly though.
Yeah,
you know she came.
Real heavy.
But you know it's crazy.
It's crazy because she was actually with Gucci before she was with Lil Wayne.
Nicki
so that's
still
totally different.
But Nicki still though,
and I feel
there's
like
more hip hop at her core though.
Nicki is a pop star as well.
Very much so.
You think Nicki's pop
but
star
I look at it like, because I don't know if
hip hop at
this was
core
performative, but like when she was about to do Starships, it was like, I don't perform that song anymore.
Yeah, her most known songs are all EDM dance
Pop
tracks.
records. Yeah.
Okay.
Like real talk.
That's what
like,
gets her real money.
But at the same time, when I saw like the crowd of people who was there, I was like, you might
That's
as
what
well
they came
do
here
that
to
song.
see.
They came here to see. They didn't came to
Right.
They didn't hear you see you do your verse for Monster. They want to hear that song when you was singing about Bud Light.
But in her defense, there was a pocket of time. This is why we don't have the same type of R&B as like we had at one point, because all the R&B artists pivoted to that EDM. Think about it. Around that same time that Nicki was on that EDM wave,
Yeah.
you had Usher,
Yeah.
Neo, Chris Brown, Kelly Rowland.
That's fair.
Rihanna.
That's fair.
A few other people. The main people in R&B were doing EDM.
You just named all pop stars.
Yeah.
But they were R&B artists.
Yeah.
And they pivoted over to the other side. And all their albums during that time period was EDM.
Yeah, Vegas Usher is a pop star.
He don't even do all that in Vegas though.
Yeah. But
I'm just saying how it's received.
Well, yeah.
But I guarantee you at the Super Bowl, he is going to do OMG.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You can't get off the stage.
That's a jock jam.
Yeah, he better. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of.
I get what Lone's saying in the chat, man.
Yeah.
What'd he say?
He said,
What'd he say?
At least, Nicki and a lot of the people that we're naming, they were artists initially, man. So they've always been artists. They're not about to just flip from being an artist to an accountant.
That's what
I just did this so I can start getting acting
That's what I
roles.
meant by the core. At her core, I feel like Nicki is an MC. First and foremost. Now, what pivot happened after that? Cool. But at her core, and what I think about her first when I hear about her, Nicki's an MC that maybe did some EDM. You see what I'm saying? It's not like she just dabbled in being an MC and was like, bet, I'm about to just take the bag and go to EDM. She's been an MC, rapping, freestyling, developing, all that up to the point where she could be popular enough to try to dibble and dabble into the EDM.
All right, so
see what I'm saying?
All right, so when I'm taking off, and I'm speaking for Lone right now, just because he's not here, he can't speak for himself. He's stating moonlighting can still be an artist trying other things, but not necessarily being an artist and then deciding to not be an artist altogether.
Okay.
Now, I mean, I think that's what he means. I don't know. But to your point, what you said earlier, Millionaire could have been about that life from the beginning.
Yeah.
And decided, well, I got the money now to invest in this stuff, and he don't have the love for the music no more.
Okay.
And just left it all the way alone.
Let's take it all the way. We think about Queen Latifah.
Okay.
Queen Latifah came in, Native Tongues.
Yeah.
Dope album, Natures of a Sister. You know what I'm saying? Black Rain, killing it. But there is a section of society that's like, oh, Queen Latifah rapped? Because they know her as Khadijah, and then they know her from The Equalizer, they know
Latifah-lizer.
they know her as Dana Owens, the jazz artist. So there could be, you could say she was Moonlight. You could say Will Smith.
But they're still involved in the arts.
There we go.
True, but
there we go.
somebody,
right? I can give you somebody right now who's moonlighting as an artist. Cardi B.
Yeah, Cardi B hasn't put it out. She's 6 years.
I'll take that.
6
I'll
years.
take that.
And somehow she's still famous.
Yep, I'll take Cardi B.
Yeah, because
she put out.
She's famous because of her. She's a personality. Yeah,
exactly. She
ain't start off that way.
Yeah, she did
start out as a
people have
personality.
always been writing her records.
Hold on. I know she was the scripper and all that in the reality shows, but what I'm saying is when she got to her apex, Grammy nominations,
wins.
Excuse me, thank you. Grammy wins. She was at her apex. She's a rapper. Now, everything since the last, how many years it's been? Y'all said
6 years.
Yeah, I would agree with that after that. 100%. 100%. Because I ain't heard nothing.
But the thing is, is she a rapper? Or is she really an artist? If somebody is giving you these records to perform, how can you really say that you're an artist? You just you're moonlighting as a creator.
Oh, that's a good one.
I did see what he said.
Was the Jackson 5 were the Jackson 5 artists? Because they didn't write I Want You Back. They didn't write ABC.
Lone, I see you, Lone. He said Blueface's ex-girlfriend. That is a good one.
Yeah, Krishan.
Yes.
Well, that kind of goes.
That's a good one.
That's the kind of
back to. That kind of goes back to the common artists, or so to speak, artists right now. They're in it to get a bag and get out, and it's easy because it's hip hop. Because you don't have to know how to sing with hip hop. There's a difference if you're an artist and you know how to sing, but you don't know how to write songs.
Yes,
but you can sing those songs that somebody writes.
Yes,
so if you don't know how to rap, somebody can coach you on how to rap, and eventually it's gonna sound cool behind this beat.
Yeah.
But you're not really a hip hop artist. That's why it's easy to get into hip hop and then jump out whenever you're done, because you don't have to really know nothing about hip hop, because somebody can coach you on how to rap. You can't be coached on how to sing if you can't sing.
And so many of these artists that we talk about in the bedroom, the people that go viral,
No, I was about to
just-
say, where you going?
Don't do that. Don't,
My ears peaked up too.
don't do that.
Whoa, bedroom.
Come on now. Get your mind out the gutter.
You on Tiger OnlyFans, bro?
Get your mind out the gutter. What Terry just described is what we allude to every once in a while when we talk about the people that go viral. It's not about having a specific skill set. It's about the right place at the right time. Are you able to be coached to be able to make the mirage that you're an artist, get that bag, and get up out of there?
Yeah.
That happens all the time now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? All the time. Right place, right time. Boom. Let's coach them up, get that bag, and we out of there.
I mean, it works in R&B too.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Because you
modern
don't
day Milli Vanilliism.
You don't really have to sing no more. You don't have to really hold a note or whatever. You can just go in there. Yeah. So it's happening there too.
Just not as much because you can hide behind somebody else's lyrics easier
Yeah.
than you can hide behind somebody else's penmanship or singing, so to speak, because you can get caught up actually not knowing how to sing.
100%.
Like it'll work the opposite effect of what it does for T-Pain. Like people love the way T-Pain sings Tennessee Whiskey right now.
True.
Because they hear he can actually sing.
True.
I seen him in concert back when he was hot and knew he could sing back then because he had a part of the show where there was no autotune. I'm like, oh, he can really do this on the piano and everything. But everybody else doesn't know that. So he's not moonlighting that as an artist. He just used that enhancement to make himself kind of stand out, and eventually everybody was using it.
Yeah,
But he can still sing though. He's still an artist at the end of the day.
T-Pain is 100% artist.
All right, so he's not
Facts.
moonlighting. So
Facts.
if these other
and he's
artists
still here.
yeah, these other
facts.
artists, they look at hip hop, they want to get that one song
Yeah.
to be able to get that money off of and then do whatever they want to do. Now that's a little different.
Because anymore, the people, the consumers, we've been bamboozled.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because people are not selling their artistry anymore; they're selling their personalities.
You know who's one of the biggest? I just thought about this. I just thought about what we're talking about. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct your boy if I'm wrong. But the poster child for what we're talking about was someone that is completely capitalized off this. Let me know if I'm wrong. Lil Nas X.
Well, he's backpedaling right now. We just talked about him.
Remember we talked about him last week? I'm thinking about what we're talking about in the conversation that we're talking about now. Does that apply? Because if you think about it, Fam got in. Now he's back. He running out of tricks.
He's still trying though.
I mean,
the problem is it's just not working for him.
Okay.
Like
All right.
he just backpedaled all this stuff he did and apologized.
So it's just that it's not landing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the thing is,
All right.
you know how there's some people say, well, they hit the button on.
That's exactly what happened there.
This is what they did with him, because I remember I pulled up Pandora. I was like, okay, let's just go ahead and get this so we can have the music outside of my establishment. The first song came up was the Lil Nas X song.
Yeah.
I did the same thing the next night. First song came up was a Lil Nas X song. Somebody hit the button. That wasn't an accident.
Okay. I got you.
Because I remember
So
it.
it's still popular. It's still
He's
popular.
still active though. It ain't like he jumped in and got out.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because
That's
the
fair.
same thing happened
That's fair.
that week Drake's album came out.
Yep.
And I remember I hit the button and then, I turned the music on. I didn't hit the button. I don't have that kind of power. The Drake and Sexy Red song hits.
Yeah.
Next night, turn it on. Weekend of it's not just random with the algorithm way these streaming and these channels. All of it is very deliberate
Programming.
Programming. Yeah.
and there's no regulation on it. So somebody dropped off some money and made that happen. It's not like when you can go up on these radio stations and make sure nobody's taking payola. Payola's back out here. I'm telling you that right now. You can pay.
Payola ain't dead. It just moved to the web.
So
You can pay. You can go up to Spotify with a bag.
That's a bar, Terry.
that goes back to when
That's
I was
a bar.
talking about these inflated numbers.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. Because that got 2 plays out of nowhere because somebody hit the button and said, "Okay, on this particular channel, make sure it's the first thing that plays."
Exactly. You know what I mean?
see.
So when I see some of these astronomical numbers, I'm like, ain't no way.
I know. I feel you. I just think, like we talked about earlier, it's just there's a section of people that's
Drake's
pulling.
just translates. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's all. It just translates. Yeah, but what you talking about? 100% happens.
Yeah.
100%. And there's people out there eating off that. So be clear.